What is up? Welcome back to another video. Now, typically I would reserve something like this for our Monday news video, but as this is very big news and there's a few factors that I want to talk about, I figured it was deserving of its own piece. But I'll begin with the news and then we'll get into the speculation. So if you just want to hang around for the news, by all means. All the timestamps down below. Just make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future content. So the news comes in 2 points. One, TKO, the public-facing person behind the Pentax 17 project and the larger Pentax film camera project as a whole, has decided to part ways with Ricoh Pentax. He made a post on Instagram discussing his reasoning behind it, seemingly amicable parting. I do want to say a special shout out to TKO. In the weird off chance you find yourself watching this video, I just want to say thank you for what you've done for the community. I think I speak for a lot of people. I say that it's pretty huge seeing a new film camera out, and I don't think it could have been done without his efforts as well as all the other people in that project. So for that, congratulations on the success and best of luck in future ventures. Maybe pairing with that news, Ricoh Pentax has decided to pause the further developments of film camera projects. Now this is interesting because it has been well documented that the idea behind the Pentax film revival was going to be at least in 3 stages. There was going to be the initial camera, an SLR, and then a point and shoot. So when the Pentax 17 came out, there was a lot of people that were like, cool, glad to see a new camera. I'm going to wait till SLR comes out. But it sounds like they're waiting on more feedback from consumers, more feedback from, and truthfully that makes sense. Designing, developing, building, manufacturing, distributing, all of the logistics that go into film camera production are probably quite substantial. The cost is probably quite high, so I can't imagine it's like a easy, quick decision for them to just be like, yeah, sounds good, we'll just pump one out over the weekend. We're going to now break into the speculation territory of the video. I have 3 potential ideas as to the motivations behind this pause. I'll start off with the neutral one, then the positive, then the potentially negative one, which I coincidentally think is the most realistic. I will discuss all of my ideas and let you decide in the comments down below what you think, or if you're thinking I'm missing something, which is possible, is likely, and I encourage you to let me know in the comments. The neutral position here would be something like the Pentax 17 to this point has met its sales metrics. Whatever that looks like, they've moved as many units as they were hoping to. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but they're well within margins of error for sales of the Pentax 17 in order to make a profit, or at least make the amount of money that they were hoping to make off of it. Taking a break might have just been a step in the plan, part of the strategy from the beginning. Produce the Pentax 17, take a beat, figure out what the market wants, and then move forward. Original roadmap was a lot more one camera, another camera, with no extended breaks in between. Now we don't know how long this break is potentially going to be. Is it indefinite? Is it going to be 2 weeks? Is it going to be 6 months? Who knows? And also, that to be said, roadmaps are kind of a macro planning situation. It's not like there wasn't concrete dates of release this camera, then release this camera. So it was more of a nebulous thing, which, you know, means breaks could be included in there. They're hoping to hear more feedback from people. I feel like the feedback came pretty quickly upon the Pentax 17 release. They sent it out to a lot of people to produce content about it, reviews, and then a lot of other people bought them to make reviews. So I feel like there's plenty of information out there on the internet. If they wanted to know people's opinion, you know, you just kind of make a little playlist, burn through them, you know. Would take an afternoon, maybe longer. Some people made long videos, regardless. But I do understand that, you know, it's one thing to take all the information, but then to dilute it into actionable data, that's very complicated too. I'm not trying to diminish what they're saying, I'm just trying to make a bit more sense of it. Devil's advocate, maybe this is just part of the plan, and we'll hear an update in 6 months, a year, whatever this long pause, short pause, whatever that entails. The next is the positive, which I think is the least likely, but the most optimistic. And that would be that the Pentax 17 greatly exceeded sales, and that Ricoh Pentax is so confident in future products, future projects in general, rest on their laurels for a bit, and then ramp up into the next production, whatever that looks like. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because I think that the best way to do that would be to promote what a success the Pentax 17 was, continue to promote the impact it's had on the film photography space, the community, the industry as a whole, and then carry that success into future project planning, and then start rolling out teasers for upcoming SLR projects, point-and-shoot projects, medium format projects, whatever they might have in mind. And then we move on to the, unfortunately, most likely, in my opinion, and most pessimistic, which is that the Pentax 17 did not quite reach the marks that they were hoping. Whatever they had in mind, what they wanted to achieve, they might have fallen a little short of, meaning the Pentax 17 was not the success they were hoping it is, so they have to kind of retool, recalibrate, and figure out where to move from here. Designing, building anything, but especially a very intricate electronic film camera in 2025 requires a lot of retooling of factories, training technicians, sourcing components, research development, designing. All of these things kind of lead into that. And that's not even taking into account the marketing of it, the distribution. All of these things really do add up at the end of the day. So it does make sense that the margins of success on this might have been fairly slim for the product to be successful and then to carry that on. But I do think that when it was announced the film camera project is going to be X amount of steps, delivering X amount of cameras, then the presumption would be that they're going to follow through on that. So I think the pause kind of creates a bit of concern for a lot of people that were kind of anticipating on an SLR project may be passed on the 17 because it wasn't for them and they're hoping for something different, to now maybe not be getting that something different might be a bit of a concern. I think the first thing to bear in mind here is that despite my issues with the Pentax 17, as numerable as they are, it is still a new camera, and that is very exciting. I think it's just very siloed off in terms of who would be interested in it. I think companies might be looking at Pentax, Ricoh, taking this pause as an indication that the 17 did not sell well, meaning that the market that Pentax was hoping would be there to produce a camera into is not as strong as they might have thought, meaning that other companies are taking a look at that and seeing Pentax going on Where the Sidewalk Ends, written by Shel Silverstein's front cover, and they're looking at the drop-off and they're thinking, we're not going to go over there, which unfortunately for reality, but fortunately for my ego, would mean that my prediction going into 2025 was correct, that there would be no new big company film cameras. Now, I still could be wrong, and in fact, I hope I am, but I suspect that I'm not, and that bums me out because I like film cameras. But the other reality that we have to face here is one that I've mentioned many times, that the market as it stands is very saturated with affordable, diverse, accessible film camera options. You can go on eBay and buy like a Nikon F60 for 20 bucks with a lens, autofocus, great camera system. No company out there right now can produce an F60 with a lens and sell it for anything even close to 60 bucks and stay in business for any extended period of time. Same thing with the Spotmatic. You can go on eBay right now, get a Spotmatic body only, 20 bucks. With a lens, 55 bucks, something like that. Something insane, something just, and it's probably not going to work, granted, but no company can produce that kind of product for that low of a cost and stay in business for any amount of time. It's just, it's not possible, it's not feasible, it just doesn't make any sense. So you're introducing a product such as the Pentax 17 into this market. There is, of course, the elephant in the room, Leica. Leica's been producing film cameras. They do be doing that, and they will probably continue to do so because the demand is without a doubt there. But the key difference in that is that Leica does have a brand kind of instilled in quality and high price. So when they have to sell a camera at whatever exorbitant price in order to make a profit on that, it makes sense. People don't bat an eye because it's Leica, that's the price you pay. They have that expectation in the branding. With Pentax, it's a little bit different. Pentax obviously does have strong lineage as a brand, but it doesn't have that same reverence that Leica does. Between the Spotmatic, the K1000, the ME Super, all those cameras that were more designed towards students, more designed towards the average consumer, there's an expectation that Pentax is more a camera for the people than the high ticket item that Leica is. Anyway, that's pretty much it, I think, for the speculation. I don't know really where this leads us. I would like to think that the taking a pause is the first of the three options. We're just going to take a beat. It performed as it needed to, so we're just going to take a moment, compose ourselves, and then figure out next steps. That's kind of the hope. We'll kind of have to see how that goes, but I will be very curious on further developments, and I hope you will be too. So if you are, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future news content. Share down below what you think about my speculation, what you think about the pause as a whole. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. Thank you again for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.